Dude, I heard some crazy thing I read on the internet. You ready?
Okay.
It was, you know how like in Los Angeles they have like a sheriff's department?
Right.
Well, inside the sheriff's department they have little groups that all form together and they all get the same tattoo and shit.
Huh.
Like, just like gangs.
Just like a gang.
Yeah, and there's like 5-6 different groups with all these different names. They all hang out together. They all get the same tattoo. And the sheriff of the area is fine with it. It's like, dude, what is going on there, huh? Does that sound fucked up to you or what?
Of course, it's like, here's what it's for.
And then here's what happens, because then when one person does something wrong, they all stick together.
Yeah, they're in a gang.
Just like a gang.
Only difference is, we pay their salary.
Dude, the FBI is investigating this whole thing, too. This whole thing needs to be investigated.
This little tattoo thing is a bunch of bullshit, and I'll tell you why. Because all of them are in the same scenario. Just because you don't have a fucking tattoo doesn't mean they're not playing that same fucking game.
Yeah.
So they need to investigate it. They need to investigate every single cop, dude.
Yeah, they're all in cahoots with each other, dude.
Hell yeah, they are, dude. They do whatever they want. They break more laws than we do. I've known a couple cops, and they broke 10 times the laws of the shadiest fuck I've ever met.
Dude, when I'm saying that they're all getting the same tattoos, there's something really wrong about that, dude, to me. Really wrong. It's just like LA gangs, dude, is what they are.
It's worse because they have the right to just walk away from all the crimes they commit, and everyone else has to do time for it. It's way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse. They're strong-arming, beating the fuck out of people on the streets with no repercussion whatsoever. The same shit everyone else gets in trouble for and spends thousands of dollars or does time for, battery or whatever, attacking people, they do on a daily basis.
I think when they commit a crime, they should get punishment worse than a criminal.
I think they should get the death penalty for a parking ticket. Because they're the ones dishing it. Yeah, Yep.
Death penalty.
They're dishing it out, but they're not fucking taking it.
That's a Steve Martin joke.
Okay, well, check this out. I got a seatbelt ticket that transformed into $178, okay? Now, they could probably steal a fucking car and not pay a dime if they get caught. This is bullshit.
No, because the cops wouldn't bust another cop, especially if he had the same tattoo as him. They're not going to bust each other.
Right, exactly.
Dude, one of these dudes got busted for sexual assault, I read about, and he was in the division of helping. This lady got sexually assaulted, and so he was supposed to be her cop, and then he sexually assaulted her. And no one did shit about it. The district attorney didn't do shit about it. And then he finally got in trouble, and he got like fucking probation or some fucking ridiculously low sentence.
Well, here's
bullshit.
The problem.
You'd be doing 20 years if you did what this dude did.
Dude, it's a business. It's not about morals. It's not about right and wrong. It's not about anything. It's about how much money they can make. And, of course, they're not going to get in trouble for breaking the law. They all stick together. But what's happened is over time, they've desensitized themselves to bigger and better things. Cops have been dirty for a long time. It's just a different kind of dirty now.
Yeah. Well, now they're out in the open with it. They don't even care, it seems.
They've always been at the take and everything. You know what I mean? If we went back to the point where there was no currency, there was no jobs, and everyone had to just fend for themselves, that would be the only way humans would ever come to any normal, existence. But then, if you think about it, like we were saying in our other show, in the animal kingdom, they do the same shady shit. Like, they steal each other's mate, they steal each other's food, they kill each other. They, we're animals.
Yeah. Yeah, we're no better than animals.
We're no better, and we're never going to change. We just change the way we do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be going on the same way if we were like natural fucking animals. We'd be doing the same shit to each other in a less sophisticated way.
Right. It's all about, here's the problem. No one
Yeah.
has enough time on the planet. If we lived like 500 years, maybe someone would care. But people are like so greedy. They're like, they turn to be like, they're, closer to retirement. And they're like just trying to grasp at anything. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing my whole life. I'm just going to start being
I'm just gonna get as many pieces of ass as I can
or whatever it
before I
takes.
go out.
I tell people I don't want to go to heaven because I might be the only one there because all you fucking bastards are going to hell. At least I'll party with you guys down there, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be alone just because you guys are fucking degenerate pieces of shit.
Yeah, no one's up there, dude. It's empty.
And it's boring as hell. Couple nuns. You're like, shit, I should have fucked up a little more. Hell seems like a better party.
They probably lowered the entrance fee to get into heaven now. It's like, it used to be like real strict, but now it's like real low.
There's very
Because otherwise they'll let nobody in there. They're like, shit, you almost gotta kill somebody to fucking get in hell now.
What I think they should do here, here's my subject. They need to start regulating narcissistic behavior. You're a narcissist? Well, we're going to have to regulate you just like a molester, a child molester. We're going to have to put your name on. Yeah. We're going to
on a
have to say,
narcissistic
look,
list.
yeah,
You'll
you're on
have
the
like a
list.
website and you can see how many narcissists are in your neighborhood.
Exactly. Beware of this son of a bitch. He's going to stick it to you every which way but loose and blame it on your mom.
Yeah. Instead of a sex offender registry, it's like a narcissist registry.
Right. The problem is it'd be a huge registry. It'd be like, God, there'd be so many fucking people on that list. It'd be crazy.
You know who'd be on
We
the
need
top of the, you know who'd be on the top of the
narcissistic.
list?
Oh, I know a few people.
Dr. Phil. Listen about Dr. Phil, ready?
Right.
He
such a
fucking makes
dick.
he makes $80 million fucking dollars a year on other people's misery.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, people come on his show with these fucking miserable stories of their terrible life and terrible things are happening to them, and he just makes money hand over fist about it. He don't care about it. It's just all about the money to him. 80 million a year. He's no different than Jerry Springer, dude. He might as well be Jerry Springer.
I like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, at least Jerry Springer like comes out and admits that, hey, dude, this is just all trash. Dr. Phil pretends it's like some kind of psychology show. It's like, that's bullshit. It's just the Jerry Springer show.
Here's what I recommend you do. You gotta stop putting your penis in your wife's vagina, and then things are gonna be better. I'm telling you.
He's the worst, dude, because he pretends like he's fucking helping people when all he's doing is helping his pocketbook.
Nobody's helping anybody, dude. The vast majority of the people in the world are starving, drinking
He's
out of
helping.
puddles, and nobody gives a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck. The next politician says children should be castrated because they don't give a fuck about children. They don't even care about their own children because they spend so much time on the road. They ain't raising them. They got a fucking nanny doing it. So don't give me this shit. You care about children. Give me this bull. If you mention children, I hate you as a politician because you haven't done a damn thing for any of them. You want to do something for children? Don't teach them religion and don't teach them bigotry. And when they grow up, they will be without that, and then the world will run in harmony. Because those are the two biggest things that cause chaos in the world. And if you breed it out, you just don't let them listen to this rhetoric, then it'll be fine. Because if you go back, like my grandma went to church every weekend. My mom went to church sometimes. I never went to church. My kids don't even know what church is. We're getting somewhere.
We're breeding church out of people.
My kids, if you took my kids to church and you started like old school church, now they made it more hip, like rock and roll. But if you brought them to that old school church, they'd be like, no fucking way. They pull out Google. I Googled this bullshit. This is all bullshit.
Yeah. It turned out they were all crooks anyway. Molesters and fucking...
Right.
They were just
But
all fucking...
Either God's a pedophile or we're... Alright, thank you, Doc. Either God's a pedophile or...
God's a pedophile.
I have to molest a kid to go to heaven?
That'd be a funny bumper sticker. Imagine driving around with that. God's a pedophile.
No, God backs the pedophiles in court. God backs the pedophiles in court. I mean, just think about this shit, dude. You go into church, you go into court, and you're wearing the collar. You got the black shirt with the collar.
Yeah.
And, you're like, is your attorney here? You're like, well, God is all our attorney.
God
is all of our attorney.
Dr. Phil.
He's here to represent me today to say, judge not, and ye shall not be judged.
Yeah.
I wonder if like you're a priest and you're like in confession, dude comes in and he's like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. And he's like, he has to pause because that's what they teach him. For what have you done? And he's like, I banged these 2 chicks and their mom this weekend, all at the same time. And I'm pretty sure that's not in the rule book. And he's going to come up with something, well, you gave in to temptation, son. But he's thinking in the back of his mind, I did that same shit, bro, but I can't tell you about it.
I don't know.
Like, temptation he's real good at talking about all that shit because he did it all. Giving into temptation, let me guess. You had an erection? You got 3 naked women. It started with the erection. And after the erection, you couldn't help yourself because erections don't go away easy.
I think it takes some of the blood away from your brain. That's what it does. You're not thinking straight.
You got a hard on. You don't just get a hard on for nothing for the wind blowing. Usually it's a chick helping. And when that happens, you're like, oh yeah.
I don't know.
You're not just getting hard on the blue. Like, it's lunchtime. You're sitting in your car having a cigarette, eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because you're a white man in America. And you just get a hard on all of a sudden. Yeah, right. That's bullshit. Now, if your secretary was next to you and she was
when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you got one.
Well, yeah, that's just God's way to get you out of bed every morning.
Is that what that is?
What's the definition of torque? When you push down your morning wood to take a piss and your feet kick out from underneath you.
You're trying to, sit on the toilet and push it down in there so you don't fucking pee all over the place.
That morning wood is here's what morning wood is.
What is that?
It's the indicator that you need to get up and go to work, make some money, because your cock still works and you want to get laid. When you don't have morning wood, you might as well just lay there, fucking, I ain't going to work. This thing don't even work no more.
Your cock's already at work.
Yeah.
He's like,
wait. It still works, bro. Get up and make that money, because bitches ain't going to hang with you without no money.
Yeah, is that it? I was watching, this guy who landed on the moon and whatever?
Yeah.
What's his name? The one who's still alive. I can't remember his name. Did you see him punch that dude who was getting in his face about being fake on landing on the moon?
Yeah, something that's fucked up. They want to change the name of the moon to
he punched the dude in the face. It was funny. He fucking cracked him one.
They're going to change the moon. Change it to Pink Floyd.
Is that it? Which
one
of you is Pink?
That's so stupid. Change the name of the moon. I got something for you. And I pull my pants down. See my bare ass? The moon. We're not going to call this a Jap, are we? Get the fuck out of here.
We could call it like, you know how like they name it like the United Center? We could like name the moon after some kind of sponsor that sponsors the moon.
We need to quit changing names to shit. It's like, are you that fucking bored? It's like, let me guess. You hire someone to mow your lawn, don't you? Maybe if you mowed your own fucking lawn, you wouldn't have time to think about this.
Dude. You know what? What happens
in the Willis Tower?
What happens if we...
the Sears Tower.
The Willis Moon?
And it's like, it's like, why are you changing shit? Like, the Sears Tower is the biggest building in the world. Let's go back to when they built it. The architects took 72 years to draw this. In fact, 10 of them died, and they'll never see the building. We're using them as footings. Now, the Willis Tower. Why do they change shit like that? Now, kids are going to grow up thinking they'll never even know the Sears Tower. And the way Sears is going, they may not even know what Sears is. So they'll be like, what is Sears?
Most kids don't know what Sears is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fuck, yeah.
But they know what Willis is? It's like, what you talking about, Willis? Like,
well, what about Wrigley? You know, the kids know what Wrigley is?
No. Are we just going to change everything?
Yeah, everything just keeps changing, dude.
Let's just make a neutral name for everything new. It's going to be the same name. It's going to be Trump. The Trump... I know, I'm kidding.
The Trump moon?
Yeah, everything will be Trump. He had his way to put it. He's like, you better call your dick Trump from now on.
He's
I'm
a
like,
dick.
My dick's bigger than that. Everything will be named this. That thing over there. What is that? What is that? Remember that on Saturday Night Live? What the fuck is that?
It's Facebook. The Facebook moon.
Remember that?
Facebook moon?
It was Bill, what the fuck is his name? God, I can't believe I can't think of his exact name.
Most big companies now don't make anything, you know, they're all like Facebooks and stuff, and Uber and Google. None of them make anything.
Nobody makes anything anymore.
They're all just like services that people stare at.
Okay, here. Oh, another thing I thought of. As these robots start to take over our jobs, which we have talked about before, I want to get on this subject real quick. Here's what's going to end up happening. Because there's so many fucking stupid people that do small hands-on labor jobs that are like, they haven't really amounted to anything. And it may be because they just don't have the resources or maybe the brain. But anyway, those people they're gonna tone back to the old days. Like my grandma and my great grandma, I guarantee, maybe not my grandma, because my grandmas were spoiled, but my friends' grandmas, but my great grandma for sure, had mason jars of like shit in the basement to eat. Like they grew a garden, they made jelly and all this bullshit. And they collected rainwater from their gutter for washing their hair or whatever the fuck they had. They were able to survive. You know, they didn't need Walmart. Let's just say that. So people are gonna drift back to that lifestyle because they're not gonna be able to work for their living. They're gonna have to produce their own food, go hunting, and we're just gonna go backwards once these robots take over. For a lot of people, like most people, billions of people. Well, first of all, there's billions of people that already still live that way.
Yeah.
But the people who thought they could live a normal life are just going to slowly go backwards. And if you look, we really are going backwards. We're getting smaller homes, one car or no car, no kids, you know. It's really no insurance, no fucking, you know, we're literally drifting backwards slowly to the pioneer day.
We regressed.
And the robots are going to run everything for the rich people, and there's going to be, like, the pioneers. They're going to be left.
Well, it's because we let Republicans run things for so long. I mean, once the Republicans are gone, hopefully we'll get back to a place where shit will get better for people. But with those people...
Here's how it's going to happen. Well, here's the problem. it's such a big fucking business that even if, you know, as you notice, the newer generations racism is getting, you know, I notice my kids are way less racist than my generation and the generation before, because I didn't teach them racism, and there was a little more racism taught by our parents.
Yeah.
Not my particular, but their generation. And then like the whole real racist white dude is going to go away eventually. But it's too late already, because there's nothing to strive for anymore here. It's just going to be like a hippie camp of people that get along, but nothing to really work for, because there's no prize at the end of, you know, at the end of the racetrack. There, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, listen, once you
you
accepted lower groups, then you had to migrate into that area. Like, if you let all these people from third world countries come here, then we're all going to end up more like a third world country here.
Well, that's what's happened slowly.
That's what's going to happen. It's like because we were so far above that before, but now those people are used to living like that, so we're all going to regress to that point.
Well, yeah, you're right, because people say, well, didn't your ancestors migrate here? Well, of course they did. And they strive for a better life and a better education and building something. But the migrants that are coming here now are just trying to jump on the wagon and get everything for free, fucking free, right. And not build any goddamn thing.
Yeah.
This particular customer of mine, she happens to be and she has 9 kids and 1 on the way, and her like third husband or whatever, and she's moving into a Section 8 house that's $2,700 a month. Okay, she doesn't do a goddamn thing, and feels that she's entitled to a house like that, while people bust their ass every day to pay taxes that don't even live as well as her.
Yeah,
but she feels like she's above you. And I don't blame her. Yeah. I would too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, look at me. I don't have to do a goddamn thing. I got this big ass fancy house, and you work every day, and I'm buying Air Jordans and brand new cars. She is above us.
Yeah.
She ain't acting. It's reality. The public aid people are living better than the workers now. That's how bad it got.
Right.
It's fucked up.
It is.
Because the cost of real estate increased. And this is the same real estate we all live in. The difference is the people that never had to pay still have to live in these houses. So the government's paying this extra amount of money because of our crooked system that allowed real estate to get to this rate. And then they're living like $2,700 a month is their rent. So let's figure like $3,200 plus is with all their bills. They're like, there's no fucking way. If all of the people in that house had a job, they could have.
Yeah.
So how is that fair? Because I'm white, I can't even afford a house when I pay for theirs.
Yeah.
We should get ours for half off when we make so much.
Right.
Ours should be half off. I don't give a fuck that you're paying $3,000 the government for their house, but don't charge me $3,000 too and tax me at the same fucking time, because you're holding me out of that house. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? Here's where it's going to come to a supersonic fucking head, because that number is getting disproportionate to the incomes. People like me are tired of working to pay for that shit. And when they run out of money, then they've
already ran out of money.
They're going to have to get jobs. Let me explain to you, lazy, fat public aid suckers, what that is. That's where you work your ass off all week, and you're tired, and you can't even get out of bed in the morning, and you're eating peanut butter and jelly. Get ready for that shit, motherfuckers.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Because people like me we don't even want to work anymore because we have nothing anyway. So we could lay in a ditch and at least not be tired. Fucking. Where we can't support it anymore.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna. We're not gonna. You reach the generation where there's no more suckers.
It's time to get rid of Section 8.
Time you motherfuckers get a J-O-B.
Yep.
Get up off your fucking ass.
And live within your means, with what you can work for.
And trust me, it ain't gonna be good, because you guys got your kids thinking this is how life is. Guess what? They're gonna have to get jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So you either start cutting out the ho-hos and get them into athletics, or they're gonna be washing cars.
Section 8 should be gone.
Bullshit is what it is.
Yeah, there's no reason why we need that anymore. That should be long gone at this point.
Mm-hmm. Especially with affirmative action and free college and all that shit. I mean, how much can we do? And you guys still just don't want to support yourself.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit. It's gonna flip around. Watch. Because they fucked you and me out of so much, we can't support the system anymore. And that number's gonna change real fast, because we aren't having kids and they're having 10. And the population shit's gonna do a shit on the work versus the non-workers. And the workers nowadays, they'd rather not even work than fucking support the rest of the world. They're tired of it. They relied on a short amount of people to fucking take care of the world. Because this shit didn't happen before that. It's only happened for the last 40, 50 years, where they expected the white man to support the entire fucking world. And it only took 50 years of me breaking my back to decide I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I'm tired of it too.
I'm gone, dude. I tell people this. I should be teaching my kid carpentry, but it doesn't pay, because we let everyone else have those jobs that have free houses. Because there are some Section 8 people that still work, the Mexicans. They get beer money, you know?
Yeah. They work in
beer money. Fuck this shit, dude. I don't even care because I'm too old. And I'm not teaching racism to my kids, and I haven't, and I ain't even going to teach it to my grandkids or nothing. It's just going to go away. And when it goes away, these people are going to have to work.
There'll be no more excuses.
Right?
Yeah, the excuses will be gone once racism's gone.
Exactly. 27 dollars a month that you had 8 kids that aren't going to work either. What the fuck?
Right.
The chick says to me, listen what she says. I said, man, Father's Day, this dude, he's the man. And she goes, oh, they ain't all his. I'm like, oh, of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
And then she's like, I don't like the kids. I just like the way to make them. I like the way you make them too, but there's a thing called birth control, and I do it all the time and don't have kids.
Yeah.
You stupid fucking bitch. I'm like, you're 30, you have 10 kids. You haven't taken a break with that fucking nasty vagina of yours. It's just, right, one after another.
Yeah. And what about the hospital bills and her birth of all them kids? We were all footing that bill too.
A Depo-Provera shot to get their fucking welfare check.
Yeah, it's nuts. Gotta put an end to that.
It's a bunch of bullshit. This is not racism. I want to be treated equally. I am jealous of the fact that no one gives me a big-ass house for doing nothing all fucking day. All I gotta do is have sex and have a couple more kids? Yeah, fuck that. I would have done that if I knew that. All I needed was a couple more kids and I could live for free forever? But it is racism toward me, because I could have had 20 kids and they would deny me any help.
Yeah.
You know why it is? They're like, yeah, you couldn't possibly expect these lazy motherfuckers to actually do anything. Where would we be today? And then you're like, well, why do we keep letting them do it? Well, silly. It's a huge money-making system off of poor people. For us politicians. If they didn't exist, we wouldn't get any of this funding for bullshit lazy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That we scrape all the top off of. If we only relied on workers, you guys might just throw this government. We need votes from dumb people.
Well, that's on both sides.
Dude,
I
all
mean,
that shit.
Listen,
It's a big... Dude, Hillary, I wouldn't doubt if Hillary gave fucking Trump a blowjob at the inauguration. Dude, they're all in bed together. It's just a big business. Who said, she said, did this, what, that, and the other. They all get the contracts and they get the bullshit and they make millions. And this whole election thing and Republican and Democratic thing is nothing but a puppet show of fucking bullshit. To make you think they care.
They don't care.
Right? They're all like, I promise you this. Blah. Everyone in the... You are the people that don't get it. Now what?
That's why I don't vote.
Believe this rhetoric. You know what I mean?
I don't even vote because of that. I mean, what's the point? There's no point in voting.
The days of...
What would I be voting for?
The days of living the American dream are gone. That's why this is going. Because they've fucked enough middle class people out of that whole life. Because it's surpassed our incomes.
Yeah.
Real estate costs. So it's just going to come to an end like that. Because there is no middle class and nobody gives a fuck no more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They bit it off a lot quicker than they thought it was going to happen. They had to give us a little bit of, instead of just taking the cake off our plate, they wanted the crumbs for so long that we don't even give a fuck no more.
Right.
And they should have given us a little gravy with our meat to swallow some of this bullshit. But they didn't even give us a little gravy. And they fucked up. They tried to take it all too fast.
What happens if you mine the moon?
If you mine the moon?
Yeah, I mean, you can't take the shit from the moon and bring it somewhere else, can you?
You'll fuck up our gravitational pull, I
think. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't just do that long term and think you're just gonna, mine all that shit and take it. I mean, that's not even possible.
Top billionaires in the world that have been fucking sucking us all dry like mosquitoes, it's going to come to an end because they've run out of shit and people are done. And the people they relied on, the Americans, are done. The rest of the world was already done. They never even got started. But we're done. That's what it is.
Huh.
You promised the future generation that they might have a one-bedroom apartment and a car. These men aren't going to work very fucking hard, dude. You know what I mean? Not like as hard as our grandpas worked and we worked, because we thought there was light at the end of the tunnel. They don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Because there's nothing promised to them for all that hard work anymore. So they'd rather just not even fucking work. It's all going to come crashing, dude. All you CEOs better go buy Carhartts. Because if you want to keep the doors open, you're going to have to use your hands. And I'm not talking about for whacking off. It's going to be for hands-on labor.
No, that ain't going to happen.
It will, dude.
No, they've got ways to fool everybody. They've got ways.
Yeah, they do.
They do it. They do it all the time. I mean, I see it right now. I hear some of these Republicans talking like they're so buffaloed by bullshit. They can't even think past their own fucking heads. They fall for it.
Yeah.
What do you think Trump cares about immigration? He don't care.
For real.
He uses that because so many, he knows that's what's going to rile up people, and he uses that to rile them up. All he cared about was giving tax breaks to his rich buddies. That's all he cared about.
Of course.
And if let's say he didn't rile these people up with this whole immigration thing, we would have seen that. We'd have been like, hey, you just gave tax breaks to all these rich people.
Yeah.
But no, he's got to throw all this other shit in there just so that all these morons, these mostly white morons, fall for this. He don't care about any of that. And what's funny is they really think he cares about it, but he don't.
He don't give a goddamn thing about it.
No way. He already got what he wanted. He got those huge tax breaks for all his buddies. That's what he wanted. That was his goal. He got it. So now all this other shit is just all a bunch of fucking smoke to fool these morons into thinking that there's something else in that guy's head that he cares about, but he don't care about it.
What they're not seeing is, as these robots take over and they start producing everything, no one's going to be buying this shit anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But their business is going to tumble, dude. They're not looking way too far. They're thinking now, okay, I save a lot of money with the robot, but it's not going to be long before you take all the jobs away from the people, and then there's no one's purchasing any of this bullshit.
Yeah.
But they're thinking of right now. I'm 65. When this happens, I'll be dead. Because they're greedy fucking cunts. That's why.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not thinking about the future of the family. Because their family members and grandkids and great-grandkids are going to suffer. Because their businesses are going to fold. And they're going to have to try to get a job, and there won't be one. Especially for someone that never did anything. It's hard to get a job. Hey, here's how I could prove it. The world ain't getting better, dude. It's getting worse every fucking year. It's because of fucking greed. And if it wasn't, then it would be getting better. And it's not. And it's all because of greed.
I don't know. I can't worry about it now.
Well, that's what our show is about, though.
No, my show's about why we shouldn't mine the moon.
Okay, what about those four
How are we gonna
politicians?
split the moon up? Like
Trump told them if they didn't like it, go back to their own country. Okay? Check this out. He said that to him, and it's wrong. And he corrected it, and it's time to move on. No, I'll always use that. But he is kind of right. Because we're electing politicians in that their sole purpose is a racist agenda for their own people. They don't care about taxes and schools and life. All they talk about is how they've been shortchanged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they really haven't been, though. They haven't been. What more can we do for you motherfuckers? You know what I mean? They fucking rolled out the red carpet for all you bastards, and that ain't good enough? Fuck you. Here's what I suggest you do. You want us all to just die? Is that it?
I'm already almost dead, so it don't matter to me.
Right?
Yeah, fuck it. Nothing I can do about it.
I don't give a shit much anymore, but I mean, if I don't keep preaching it, then it's never gonna fucking end, dude. The problem is the up and coming generations, they're not dealing with this. It's just gonna go away because they don't really give a fuck, you know? It's just people our age and like between 40 and...
What's going to happen, you don't realize, what's going to happen way before these problems become issues, right? Is the planet's heating up at a rate beyond belief. There's going to be no food for us to eat.
Yeah.
It won't even matter. It's going to be like massive starvation.
Here's Cecilia.
There's no ocean anymore because all the coral reefs are dying like beyond, they're all dying. Down here, all the coral reefs around the Bahamas are dead.
Okay. They asked these kids in college.
So there's going to be no more food to eat. And the way the sea levels are rising, all this land, like Florida by 2050, half of Florida is going to be gone.
Right.
So
you better know how to live off the land, like I said at the beginning of the show. Because if you survive on the menial shit you need to survive, you're not going to make it.
People are denying this, but it's happening, dude. It's happening at a rate that people didn't even expect. Scientists didn't even expect it was going to happen this quick.
These lazy motherfuckers that have been relying on the system to eat and live and whatever, they're going to need their guns to blow their brains out.
I won't be here. But I could see it happening soon.
But when we quit feeding them for free and they have to try and find food, which is work, you might as well just kill yourself. I don't see your fat ass getting up off the couch. You know, Hot Pockets don't have legs. You gotta go get a squirrel or like a deer.
There's not enough of them to sustain all the people.
You can't hunt Hot Pockets.
There ain't enough fucking deer and squirrels to sustain millions of people.
It's gonna happen so fast. Here's proof. When there's a hurricane, the grocery stores empty out overnight. That's how fast it's going to go to shit. In one day. When all the shit hits the fan, in one day.
Yeah.
It's going to go to hell. And the smart people are going to get the real food. And all these idiots on public aid are going to go for the ho-hos and all that shit. They're going to sit in their fat little fucking slumber, scarf down that last bit of cream filling, and go, what are we going to do now? You know what you're going to do? Now you guys are getting skinny. It's reached a point where it's an epidemic, dude. It is here in Denver anyway. I don't know about in other states, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in Chicago on public aid too. They can well guess.
Mm-hmm.
All those fucking people had to work and have respect for the house they live in because they paid for it, and respect for the things that they weren't handed to them, that they earned. Then shit starts to get a little cleaner and a little nicer. But when you don't give a fuck about the shit that's handed to you, it still stays a shithole after shithole after shithole.
Well, there's no information. They won't even publish the information.
Yeah, because they're probably pretty fucking embarrassed if that people found out the real truth about the numbers.
Right.
You'd be really fucking embarrassed. They'd be like, you spent this many billions of dollars and there's nothing allocated to any type of reform.
There's no published information. You can't find it. They don't even publish information.
Easier and easier for them to not want it. Because think about it, shit, there's no way these people could afford to live in that house if they had jobs. So why wouldn't they get on the system? They're living high on the hog off of it.
Mm-hmm.
It should be like, you get this little 10 by 10 shack and you get this fucking scoop of slop every day and see how quick you get a fucking job. But instead we dangle fucking nice houses in nice neighborhoods, cash, all the food you can eat, free insurance in front of their face. Why the fuck wouldn't they take it?
Right.
And they've taught generation, that's probably what they teach their kids. Don't worry about college. You're going to get on the system. Watch how good this is. Then the kids start weighing out. They're like, fuck, this college
I don't think that's true.
I know it's true, man. I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's the few that want to get up out of the ghetto just because they're embarrassed. Then there's the ones that know that no matter how hard they try, they could live better off public aid than if they had a job. Because they live better than me, dude, and I'm a fucking 50-year-old craftsman, dude. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it 30 years, so this dude has to look at me and go, it would take me 30 years to live worse than my mom that don't do shit on public aid.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the public aid route. There's no inspiration to get up out of that thing.
Here's what they do. Here's what they do that you miss. Listen. Here's what they do. They take information, like they'll say, like 36% of the people who were on the SNAP program were white, and 25% were African American. 17% are Hispanic, 3% are Asian. Right? But then they'll use that information because most people don't understand math. They don't realize that when you,
There's a lot of white people.
so that's what they're saying, because they're like, well, look, more white people are taking these benefits than, but only 10% of the country's black, and they're getting 25% of the benefits. See, that's the whole thing that's the whole thing that they don't realize. It's like, they don't understand the math.
How disproportionate it is.
That's
the word.
They just pick the numbers to make themselves sound better. That's all they care about.
Exactly.
It's all a math thing. It's how you use numbers to make people, to fool people into thinking one thing or another. That's all people do.
What they should say is, based on population, 35 or 4% of white people are on public aid. 25% of black people are on public.
Yeah.
Like that, but they don't say that. They say it like we are getting more public aid, which is true, but in percentage-wise, it's way less.
We're 55% of the people in the country are getting 36% of the public aid, when 10% are getting 25% of it. That's all I'm saying. Is like, it's not about what's fair. Well, it's just like when conservatives use all that bullshit about immigration to fool their white people who follow them. The liberals do the same thing with the numbers at the welfare. It's like each side has their way of using manipulation to fool people who are just ignorant. The real problem here has nothing to do with welfare or politicians. It has to do with ignorant people that believe these people. Right. We have an epidemic of not only mathematical but just policy idiots. I heard it today with my wife was talking to her friend on the phone about this fucking building the wall thing, and she was claiming that we got to get rid of all these people when her husband hires illegal aliens to work at his business. Yeah,
I know, it's fucked up.
It's like, dude, what are you people? It's like, what are you doing? You're hiring the people, and then you're criticizing the people that are coming in. It's like, you pick a side or you don't. Stop being ignorant. Stop fucking falling for your bullshit.
Such a big problem. But it's gotten to a population issue where it's starting to be noticeable. Like, before it wasn't really noticeable. But, like, the quality of homes and the construction and shit, and, like, they still have crossing guards at the fucking train crossings here. 4 years I've been here. Nobody has the ability to fix this because all the crews are Mexican and they don't know how to do it. And because there's so many Mexicans, they all are in bed together. Nobody with any talent gets the job because those aren't Mexicans. So it just sits there broken. And no one's held accountable for any of this shit. It's crazy. Well, that's fine. Don't hold anyone accountable. But if you keep doing this over and over, everything's going to be broken. Just like the train. Yeah. And then what? And then what? And then you're going to go, hey, Tom, can you fix this? He's going to be like, fuck you, man. Where were you when I needed a fucking paycheck?
Yeah.
Right? And it's never going to even get better because it's going to be real hard to light a fire under these white people's ass that got fucked over for so many decades. I know how to do that, but you know what? I'm so comfortable with living on the street and doing nothing all day because I actually have more that way. Because think about it. I could bust my ass and have damn near nothing, or have damn near nothing and not bust my ass. Hey, I'm not fixing a goddamn thing. This information's dying with me. That's what's going to end up happening. All the good information is going to die with these people. And no one picked it up. We're totally going in reverse based on that. That the smart people that didn't get to benefit from their achievements and the things they did to make shit better.
I think you're generalizing too much.
Well, you'll see. Look at the bridges collapsing. There's bridges collapsing all over here. Now they're starting to build them underground here. Oh, I trust that any better. Fuck. It's because they're, first of all,
I don't want to go underground
first of all, here's the reason these
when I'm
bridges are
driving my
flat.
car.
The employees who are building them, okay, are not as smart as the people that build the previous bridge, obviously. And two, the contractors that get the jobs are hoarding all the money and they're hiring cheap labor. And now bridges are collapsing. That's what happened. No good skilled paid laborers anymore. And they don't give a fuck when they leave. But they ain't making shit. They don't give a fuck come Friday. When you used to make a decent pay, real good, when it was considered a career, like you were someone to look up to, then they were like, hey, I'm going to work a little harder at this. But when it's just a pissant job that everyone else has, and the quality is down. But now we're not talking about just shitty tennis. We're talking about the quality of our bridges and our buildings, man. You can't go buy a fucking Louis Vuitton building anymore. They're all fucking Walmart bags. Walmart buildings.
Yeah, they are shit, man. I tell you.
Everything is crumbling. And they're more money. Because these contractors and politicians and whatever have figured out a way to get paid more for shittier buildings. A lot more.
Yeah.
And their houses are just going to crumble around them. Is what's happening. They're going to run out of the true craftsmen, and then no matter how hard they try to get a real house built, which they still could find a good guy now, but it's going to wait, and they're not going to be able to get a good building anymore. Remember the day when they built good buildings? And you can see it, dude. Look at those Victorians. What happened to that shit?
Yeah.
What happened to that shit? You couldn't build a fucking building like that today. You couldn't even find the guys to build it.
No, you couldn't.
And the shit they're building now is going to get worse. We're almost at cardboard. Again. You look at these houses, they got limestone, stools outside the windowsills, and they're all hand carved. You could get that shit. You could pay for a factory to make it with a CNC machine and ship it out, and barely get a guy that knows how to install it with half the thing. These guys carved that shit in the field back then.
Yeah.
Those guys are gone. We've sold them for fucking cheap products. Kind of like China thing. Nothing built well anymore, but we're willing to pay a little less. Well, guess what you get for a little less money? Shit.
I'm going to start selling that stuff online.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. We're out of time. That's what it's come down to.
Yeah.
I want to give a good product, but fuck, I'd make more money selling you a bunch of bullshit. Have at it. Oh, it broke? We have a return policy. Stick it in your ass.
You know what the return policy is? Throw it out in the ocean, let it float out there. That's what we do with it all. It becomes a big ocean of garbage.
We should just put like big garbage collecting nets on the back of whales, and they could be scooping up the garbage this whole time. And then we'll take the nets to the whale, and they're like, "Hey, he's full again. Seabiscuit is full again."
Well, I heard this thing where what happens to this plastic is it turns into what's called microplastics or something like that, where it degrades into smaller and smaller pieces.
And it's in everything. It's in your body right now.
Dude, so here's what happens. If you drink bottled water, you're getting like 90,000 of these microplastics that are going in your body a year. And who knows what's going to happen. And now you can't get away from it. They can't filter this shit out. It's so small. And this plastic keeps degrading. And now all our water is going to be filled with these little tiny microplastics that no one can get rid of.
It's going to be like this. The food you eat has it in it because the cows ate the shit. The microplastic.
And all the fish eat it, and then it's in the water supply, so when you're drinking your water, it's in the water. And
humans are pretty stupid. They are dumb.
Even your clothes, it sheds off your clothes when you wash them, and then when you breathe, it goes right in your lungs.
Here's what we do.
And
we wait for a catastrophe before we realize we can't fix it.
Yeah. It's already to the point that we can't get this plastic shit out of the water. There's no way. It's impossible.
Okay.
And everything you see, all these plastic things you see floating in the water, they're all degrading into those points of becoming these microplastics.
Just like sand. Because it was a rock and it broke down into those little particles. Same thing. It's going to be, your beach is going to be plastic.
It's in the water. You can't get it out. There's nothing you can do about it now. There's absolutely nothing. There's no solution. Scientists have no solution for it. They know what's happening.
Well, there is a solution, but it's at such a level it can't be fixed. Because they do have filters that go down to the micron level, but they're expensive. And what are we going to do? Have a little filter on our sink now that can take out microns? I mean, come on, we're at that point. Right?
Most people drink the bottled water. They don't even think that they're getting this. But if you drink tap water, you're only getting about 5,000 microplastics a year. But if you drink 90,000, that's how much the difference is. Don't ever drink bottled water. Never, dude. I would never drink it if it were me. I never do, unless I'm desperate.
I drink it all the time, but I also do drink well water.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's minerals in that shit that people don't realize that we were supposed to be drinking.
Mm-hmm. Don't drink bottled water,
like,
dude.
This funky water you're drinking. I'm like, yeah, and I'm drinking shit that we were supposed to drink. We've been filtering this shit out, and that's why we're all sick all the time.
Huh.
We're supposed to have it. God made dirt, and dirt don't hurt. You're supposed to eat dirt, dude. There's shit in dirt.
Well, when you can't, the problem with humans is you can't see these microplastics, so you don't think that it's causing you any problem.
Here's the bottom line. I'm gonna end the show with this because I'm gonna go get a beer. I've come to the conclusion that despite all of the inequalities and whatever is left in society and what people groove on, that they feel that they're being sold short from whatever reason. I know one thing. I'm a good looking dude and chicks love me, so I'm gonna roll with that. Fuck you all. Fuck you. They stare at me.
Alright. But
it's coming to my head, but I've learned to tone it down.
Good.
I asked these girls, how could you tell me what it is that makes you so infatuated, and I'll try not to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. It boils down to that.
But
all you people, including the guy that stole our show, wish you were me, but you'll never be me.